What's up guys, today we're going to be going over everything new inside of Premiere Pro 2026. There's a lot of things moved around, a lot of new settings and features. We're going to go over everything if you're a beginner, especially if you're editing music videos. I'm going to be showing you some crazy new effects that we could have never created before 2026. So let's get straight into it. So I was recording a tutorial earlier today and I was making this effect, and this is inside of Premiere Pro, but I was like, oh my goodness, like this is so crazy because like 2 years ago, even a year ago, this is like an After Effects level effect. And I was like, dude, I have to make a tutorial on some of the new stuff they updated with Premiere Pro, which leads us to the first update, which is rotoscoping, object masking. So object masking is basically the new rotoscoping feature for Premiere Pro. They don't want to call it rotoscoping, I call it rotoscoping.
The rotoscoping inside of Premiere, basically. No more R word.
They don't like to call it the R word, but essentially it's just an automated tracked mask inside of Premiere Pro. Using it is pretty easy, but there's a couple settings that are a little bit different and they kind of cause some confusion. At least I was confused when I first used it. So I just want to explain how to use it properly. You'll see it right here in the toolbar column, and it's this little object mask tool. If you don't see it, just go to Windows Workspaces and reset everything to the save layout. Now we're going to select the object mask tool, and first it might load, and then just like that, you'll see we're able to select the object mask. Now, obviously, if it's frozen up for you, just go ahead and restart Premiere. But you want to make sure, very important, you're at the very first frame of your clip. So you can see right here, we're starting at the very first frame of our clip. And then once you move a frame, it's going to have to reanalyze. It did a pretty good job of selecting our subject right here. We're going to go ahead and click on the subject that you want to select, obviously. And if it misses some areas, it works exactly like rotoscope. You just draw and like circle around the areas that you want to include, and it includes it. This right here, this scene's a little bit dark, so we're kind of pushing its limits, but it's good. It's good to always have examples that aren't perfect, because not all footage is perfect anyway. But one thing you might notice is once you play out the video, the mask stays exactly the same. So how do we get it to that rotoscoping feature? You just click this play button. If you want to do one frame by frame, you can do so as well, and it'll just do one frame by frame. But if you want to just play it out automatically and have it track the entire thing, just click the play button and then it'll automatically track it for you. And yeah, there you go. You're seeing this live as I'm playing it out. It's doing a pretty good job. And there you go. We have a rotoscope. Now this is where I think they kind of, I don't know why the settings are like this, but I think it's pretty confusing because you're like, okay, cool. I got my rotoscope clip. Let's go ahead and apply some effects. But then when you go back to your clip, you're like, why is it not rotoscoped? I see the mask. What's going on? What they want you to do is you're supposed to right click it, copy it, and then delete it right here from the assign mask, and then go to your opacity, right click, and paste it under your opacity, and then it applies. I don't know why, like, don't ask me, but that's just the way and process you're supposed to do it. So the mask obviously is still a mask under your opacity, but I just don't know why it goes to your assign mask first, which is the second thing I wanted to bring to you. They relocated the masking feature. I mean, obviously, as you saw right here, but masking as a whole is completely different inside of Premiere Pro 2026 compared to what was in 2025. So you see we got our rotoscope subject, but what I mean by this is if you click and hold on this object mask tool, you'll now see we have actual masking tools. Like if you're familiar with Photoshop, you'll be familiar with these, but inside of Premiere Pro before, we never had this. We had the option to create masks. Like if you go to the opacity, you can create like a square or circle mask from this effects control panel. And now they have their own special little masking tools inside of the toolbar. Let me go ahead and grab another clip just so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So if we grab this this rectangular clip right here, we can just go ahead and create a mask simply like that, and it applies a mask in this new unassigned mask. And you just essentially have to drag it, or you can copy and paste it to the opacity panel, and then it cuts out everything from the scene. And that's essentially how masks work inside of Premiere 2026. Let me know what you think. I'm open to it. I think it's a cool feature. I mean, it's just something I have to get used to. But so the third thing that I was going to go over are the film impact effects again. I know film impact effects were added last year technically, but still I think it's just worth noting on because still a lot of people are just unfamiliar that Premiere added a bunch of crazy new effects, After Effects, Sapphire level effects to your effects control panel, and we can actually create some pretty cool styles with them. So I wanted to create this like background swipe effect. Now this is one of my favorite effects. Shout out to Brian Delamata, but this is one of the first tutorials I made on this channel actually. It was an After Effects tutorial, and now I can make this inside of Premiere Pro. So it's kind of like a fun full circle moment. Going to my effects and controls, I'm searching for the offset first. Sorry, not direction. Offset, we're gonna drag offset to this bottom clip layer. And by the way, if you weren't paying attention, I just created a rotoscope clip, and then I have a the same exact clip with no rotoscoping, or sorry, object masking. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to about like, you know, somewhere in the middle of the clip. I'm gonna hit shift to center, and then I'm gonna go probably 1 to 2 seconds in, and then we're just going to shift this center all the way down. We're just gonna keep moving it for as many like slides as you want. Now you can also do this horizontally as well. I'm doing it vertical, but you can do it horizontally as well. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to hit the drop down on the shift to center, and then we're gonna right click these keyframes, and we're going to hit temporal interpolation. We're gonna hit ease in, and then we're going to do the first one, and we're going to do ease out. And now I'm just going to hold shift and drag these anchor points in just a little bit so it's nice and smooth. And now if we play it out, boom, we got this crazy like slide effect. I just love how like smooth it looks. A lot of energy going on, but we could still spice this up a lot more. Second thing we're gonna add is a RGB split. Now this is one of my favorite effects. I'm so glad they finally added one of these. They never had a way that you can add blurriness just directly to the RGB split, and that always kind of annoyed me. So now it's really cool because in the new RGB split, which is by Film Impact, we can actually just go ahead and blur the RGB directly from the effect. So you can see there's a feather option, and now when I increase the feather, the RGB becomes a little bit blurred, and it creates a really authentic looking RGB split compared to what chromatic aberration was before. Now you can of course just adjust these settings however much you want, but also on top of that, they even went crazier and they added a vertigo, which is my favorite part too. I'm zoomed in a lot, let me zoom out. And if I increase that vertigo, you can see we get this like really cool warp trippy effect, and I just love this. This is like a sapphire level effect that I create in After Effects using the sapphire warp, and now I can do this 100% native inside of Premiere. Super happy, super excited they finally added this. Yeah, that's looking sick. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just of course going to keyframe this. So I'm going to keyframe that horizontal split and the vertigo and the center. I'm going to go to the very ends, and I'm going to change them back down to 0. Back down to 0. I'm going to copy these 0 keyframes, go to the end of the effect and paste it. And then we got this crazy like horizontal vertigo effect going on with the white. Lastly, directional blur. This is what ties on the entire effect. So we're going to be applying directional blur, and make sure you click not the legacy one. There's a new directional blur with no legacy to it. We're going to apply that, and you can see we have some crazy new settings. So the setting that is really important is we're going to change the edge behavior to repeat edge, and essentially that stops black edges from appearing, and now you get some nice repeated edges, and you can see the it just looks a lot more natural and organic. We're of course going to decrease this amount to something more realistic like 19, set a keyframe of 19 at the center, go to the very end, and of course set it to 0, and then copy this 0 keyframe and paste it at the end as well. And there we have it. We got this crazy slide effect. This is my first tutorial effect in first tutorial on this channel ever. I did it for After Effects, and now I'm doing it for Premiere Pro. Such a crazy long way we've come, right? And now, of course, lastly, to spice it up, I love my overlays. So I'm going to be using my 4K overlay pack, which basically has a bunch of different glitches and just cool overlays and stuff. So if you want to check these out, I've linked down to a free sample of it down below. But I'm essentially dragging this in between one of my clips right here, and I'm changing the blend mode to screen. And now you can see if we play it out, we got this crazy glitch going on behind our subject. I might even just duplicate this one more time, move around the position or something. Let's flip it. Let's do negative or 180. Boom, look at that. So sick. This is like, I'm just loving this. I'm loving this, the fact that it's created entirely inside of Premiere. But there you guys have it, a cool effect, some new features inside of Premiere. Hopefully this explains or gives you guys some more clarity. If you have any questions, let me know. So just a quick recap, there is now the cool rotoscoping. Oh my gosh, one last thing I forgot to highlight is, by the way, you can of course change the mask color of your rotoscope if you want it to. So if you want it, instead of being red, you can do it green, you can do yellow, black and white, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is just kind of like something extra they added. I think it's pretty cool, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. I just wanted to do a quick video highlighting some of these new features. Now, if you want to learn how to automatically edit entire music videos to the beat of the song with visual effects and transitions, you can check out this video, link right here.